Y'all be on some bullshit. That's all I got. That's the main thing I got to say about this. Y'all be on some bullshit. This gentleman and another gentleman has similar commentary. Now, the other gentleman said that nobody had to teach man how to lust after women, and I'm going to talk about that one. And this person is saying that you were conceived in lust, born in sin, and shaped in iniquity. You are not conceived in love. Jesus Christ is the only love child. You must be born again from above. I had to read that one, y'all. I had to read that one. First of all, the guy said that nobody had to teach a man how to lust after a woman. You're absolutely correct. You do not have to teach men how that they will go after women. This is something that is naturally, innately inside of us, just as it is with every other animal. You know why? Because every species has a innate, instinctive desire to procreate. That is not lust, my guy. That is our instinct to procreate, to continue our species. That's what every animal on the planet. So do you call bees lusting, or lions lusting, or any of these animals lusting? No, they're not lusting, they're procreating. Now, lusting is continues seeking after a woman for the simple pleasure of it all. And no, you don't have to teach that. You don't. Because that's what our society just teaches anyway. We take procreation, the instinctive act of procreation, and turn that into something that is what you would call lustful. And you are incorrect. Sorry, I misspoke. You're incorrect. That does have to be taught. That has to be taught. And it is taught. In the same way that in some countries, a woman's breast is not lusted after, but in America, it's definitely lusted after. But if you go to certain countries in the Arab world, the nape of the neck is a lustful area. That's sexy. It's sexy. It was weird when they gave us that debriefing. I was like, what? The nape of the neck? That's why they covered the neck part? Because these men it was in Saudi Arabia, and we was it was Saudi Arabia and Oman and Yemen when they gave us that briefing. And they was like, yeah, they find that sexy. So they told the women, but they told us, don't stare at a woman's the nape of her neck, but if it's uncovered, but most of the time it's going to be covered anyway. Just like when we went to certain other countries, a woman wearing with her top down with her chest uncovered, they don't look at the breast as being something like that. But as Americans, we see some titties, we looking, we like, God damn, look at them titties. But to them, it is not a sexual thing. It is the thing for feeding, until Western culture comes and messes them up, because they will be taught to lust after that part of the body. You see what I'm saying? So culturally, we are taught to lust. Now, my guy here, maybe your parents hated each other, and maybe you grew up with parents who did not like each other, and who was violent towards each other, or rude to each other, or yelling at each other, or calling each other out of names and that sort of thing. I don't know. Maybe you were. But from my understanding of the stories that my aunts and uncles and my mom and my dad and everybody has told me, and from what I've seen of my parents, this brother right here was born out of love. My mother loved my father. She still loves my father. Even though he's passed on, she still loves my father. My father loved my mother. And yeah, both of them are crazy. My mother didn't go and stay and be with my father when he moved to Texas because she didn't want to leave her mother. And therefore, the relationship broke as far as them being together. But at any point, no matter what was going on in their lives, when them two jokers were together, they loved each other. They didn't care about anybody else in their life at the time frame. Anytime they were together. But they just couldn't, my mom couldn't leave my grandmother. Yeah, I was mad at her for a while when I realized that one. I was pretty pissed off about it. Yeah. But from all the stories, my mother never received any greater love than that to which she received from my father. And from talking to my father, he never received any greater love than that he got from my mother. So I was born out of love. And many of my other family members were born out of loving relationships. So I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you just come from a broken ass family or something's wrong with you. I don't know. I hope that you don't have a wife and children, because you're basically saying that your children were not born out of love. I know that my children were born out of love. I was head over heels in love with my children's mother when we were married and our kids were born. There's nothing that could change my thought process on that. And I know that woman loved me. So I don't know what you got. My children were born out of love. But as far as you're concerned, only Jesus. So what you're saying, just as somebody in the comments on that one on Facebook said, when did Mary say, hey, God, I like you. You can take care of me. You great. Bring that Holy Spirit on in here. Come on in. I know I'm betrothed to Joseph, but the love I have for that Holy Spirit, come on, impregnate me. When did she say that? When? When did that happen? When did she give permission? She didn't even give permission. And you know what they call having sexual intercourse with a person without permission? You know what we call it. That's what happened. And considering her age, your Holy Spirit, your God, is a PD3O, or whatever they call it, P3DO. Because the girl was underage. All right? Let's get to that part. Let's get that part out the way. So where was the love in this conception? This love was a one-sided love because you say that this deity came and impregnated Mary so he can live as a human and then be a blood sacrifice for us, a human blood sacrifice for us out of his love. But what did he risk? He risked nothing. This deity didn't risk anything. Oh, I'm still God on high. I'm in a fleshly body. Your pains, your things you do don't really affect me. I'm going to make this sacrifice. I'm going to die. But then I'm going to get up in 3 days, so I'm still alive. Where's the sacrifice? There's no sacrifice. Sacrifice is when you lose something forever. It wasn't lost forever. There's no sacrifice, my God. There's no love in that. And there is certainly no love when you say that if you do not believe in me, if you do not worship me, if you do not do all these animal sacrifices, if you do not change who you are, if you do not do these things, then I'm going to send you ass to eternal hell and you're going to burn forever, or you're going to go and be completely and utterly destroyed and not cease to exist in totality. That's not love. That's not love. That's what abusers believe. An abuser believes that if you don't do this, if you're not home every day when I get home, if I don't know where you are at all times, if you look at another man or look at another woman, then I'm going to beat the shit out of you. But if you don't look at another man, don't look at another woman, if you're always at home, if you're always where I know that you are, if you're doing all the things that I desire to control you to do, then I'll show you my love. I'll give you heaven. That's what abusers do. And that's your deity, an abuser. So, thank you, everybody. I appreciate all those who share with gifts and stars and financials, and continue to share the videos, continue to subscribe. I appreciate you if you find me for the first time. We deconstruct religion. But y'all have a great day. Remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.